Ready. Ladies and gentlemen, dear exhibitors, visitors, distinguished guests and members of the press, dear friends, a warm welcome, Hoş geldiniz. If you would have asked me 1 year ago or have told me, see you next year, 2020 at the Win, I would have said, yes, I'll be there. If you would have told me we're gonna see us on a digital platform, I would have said, no way, why should we? But things are happening, things are changing, challenging times are behind us and ahead of us. The pandemic caused a lot of trouble for us, a lot of challenges, but I do think every crisis is giving a chance as well. During the pandemic period, at these tough days, we worked a lot for the adaptation of this new period after pandemic and created ConnectionDays, our new service. Our new service, ConnectionDays, is our digital event platform, which is aimed to bring out the whole industry at one step. As Hannover Fairs Turkey, the organizer of leading B2B trade fairs in the Eurasian region, in addition to our physical fairs, we are now in service of sector professionals with our digital platform, the ConnectionDays. Today, I'm so proud to share my excitement with each of you, and I do have the chance to launch our first online event, Industrial Digitalization Conference with Mr. Jochen Köckler, which is the CEO of Deutsche Messe AG, and as well as our distinguished sponsors participants. Till 6:15 p.m., you will have a chance to join Industrial Digitalization Conference, which is focusing on digitalization and 5G technologies, and many other topics brought together the technologies required for the factory of the future. On the other hand, whole day till 10 p.m., you will have a chance to visit our sponsor booths and network opportunity with industrial professionals from all over the world. With this regard, once again, I would like to thank all of our participants, guests, members of the press, partners and supporters for being with us today, and welcome you to the innovative platform of Deutsche Messe AG. Finally, I need to thank to my team. They made many night shifts and day shifts to make this happen. Thanks to all of you. Before Mr. Köckler will open officially our digitalization event, I'd like to ask him a few questions to get an overview about his view about the current situation. So once again, welcome, Mr. Köckler. Good to have you with us.
Good morning, welcome.
Mr. Köckler, how does Deutsche Messe AG consider digital events in global scale in the future, and how conventional physical exhibition will look like in the so-called new normal?
So a warm welcome to everyone in Turkey and all over the world. It's really my pleasure to be here and to start this premiere together with Alex KÜHNEL. And yes, I would like to mention at the beginning the same like Alex KÜHNEL. 1 year ago, no one could imagine what happened with the exhibition industry, with the exhibition family, especially since February this year. And therefore it's a great question at the beginning, what is our position? And we as Deutsche Messe, running since more than 70 years trade shows here in Hannover, many years in Turkey together with you, with the exhibitors. And yes, to be honest, Corona has heavily negative impacts, but on the other hand, Corona is a pacemaker for new developments. And in the premiere here today, it doesn't matter where you are, it's in principle the same like we did since 70 years, bringing people together. And bringing people together means every time we create a market on supply and on demand. And the Win would be the place to show the innovations to be more successful in the industry. And I believe heavily the future will be both. This is a fantastic approach, but to be honest, we do it only because we are not allowed to be together. Therefore, it's a pure digital thing. Therefore, I believe the future will be hybrid formats. If we are allowed to do, I'm really convinced that the people would like to meet each other, would like to look in each other's eyes. If they really do an investment about millions with the company A, B, or C. And that will be the future. But what we are doing here, broadcasting it, having the information for more than that, people who are really joining the show in the halls, that will be the future. That is a great challenge for us, Alex, for us as exhibition organizers to offering both. And at the end, that is most important, you as our exhibitors and visitors will help us to find there the right solutions. For the next question, what is the new normal looking on physical events? There are three keywords, like in our lives, the same everywhere where we have the corona topic, and to be honest, that is around the globe. That is distance, hygiene, and that is traceability. So what we have to do, and everyone is really, and we see it in Germany day by day, it's really new. If you're in a supermarket or where you are, you have to handle it with distance, with hygiene. And at the end, if there is really a corona topic somewhere, you have to do traceability, or you have to track them to help that one who could be infected by these issues. So from my point of view, that will be in a period for the next months, and we here in Hannover are officially allowed to start again from September. And then, yes, it will be, to be honest, less party, but it will be the core of that, what we are doing, convincing people to invest in innovation. And therefore, I hope that we will start again in the next weeks and months with our real trade shows in this new normal, with distance, with hygiene, and with traceability.
Absolutely correct. I do see it absolutely the same. And for other industry, especially for manufacturing, how new normal will look like for manufacturers? What should they expect? What do you think?
In their production, the manufacturers have to do the same. They have to recognize the duty to have this distance, hygiene, and traceability. And even here in Germany, we had an outbreak last week in a big slaughterhouse. That means if you are really not able in this atmosphere to run your business in these circumstances, it could be a nightmare for you as a producer. So all the manufacturers have to do this to producing something. And on the trade shows, and that is what I hear a lot, they are really willing to handle it in this way, because they say, for me, it's so important to find new clients, to convince new clients about my innovation. Therefore, we will create this together. And to be honest, no one knows where we are in 1 year. I believe there will be a trade show like we knew it from the past. And it will be in a way that this new normal is a bit different, but not really another world.
I do think we need to get used to all that things, like masks, and then it's in everybody's own hand to go back to, or to accept the new normal.
A nice example is my father really told us day by day we have to welcome people with a handshake in Westphalia on our farm where we are at home. And all of my friends are measured if they are willing to do this behavior. And to be honest, it took me some weeks, and that was at the beginning really unfriendly. But now, if it's helped to avoid the pandemic or to reduce the number of infections, hey, it's fully okay to say hello. And I know in Turkey, it's much more than a handshake if you say hello to someone. So I'm now 50 and I'm not too old to learn some new things. And therefore, it's all about behavior, and we are intelligent enough to learn this.
Exactly. Deutsche Messe launched last year the 5G arena. How was the experience of the 5G use cases in Hannover Messe 2019? And which role will 5G have for factories?
For us, is 5G a part of our total story industry 4.0? Thanks to many exhibitors and visitors from Turkey who trust us many, many years in our trade show in Hannover Messe and on our trade shows when we are doing there. And this topic means at the beginning, if you remember 7 years ago, we start to connect machines. And many people were not really sure, is Industry 4.0 something like a new marketing gig, or is it really production? And now everyone knows the machines are connected. Connecting machines, you're able to collect data, and having now this data, and that is the reason why Microsoft, IBM, SAP, all these companies are with us in the industrial shows, because they would like to use this data to have now things to make the production more competitive, to make it better, and that is AI. And to doing this, connecting machines, using now in the future cloud technologies, you need much more speed for connecting machines. And 5G is in the industrial production 10 times quicker than 4G. Therefore, it's a perfect topic for Hannover. And therefore, we decided, despite the big challenges we're having now with almost zero turnover, to invest in this 5G on our fairground. And we will have in the next years, we are fully equipped with this, that the exhibitors can use these technologies to show their innovation, for example, wireless robots. Perhaps the factory of the future looks a bit like an empty exhibition hall, and then you are producing in the first 4 months cars, and then you are producing in the next 4 months bikes, and later on you produce something for the aircraft industry, whatever. And that makes it much more flexible, and the production will be more and more autonomous. And therefore is 5G a huge topic. And like everyone, we start very, very early. The 5G arena last year, to be honest, started before the technology were available. That is sometimes a challenge. That's a visitor asks, where can I buy this? So it's very solution orientated, not product orientated. And we are, and you see it in my face, we are very, very motivated to be here as a global hotspot. And for example, unfortunately, we did not do Hannover Messe in April, and therefore cloud technology would be a huge topic, because all the information how to run the production in the future will be decentral in an edge cloud or in a central cloud somewhere, and that will be then very, very worthwhile for the production. So it's a great topic for us, and thanks for this question, Alex.
So Hannover is investing in the future. This is what it has to be.
Absolutely. We are convinced to have here a good future for the global industry.
There are disruptive technologies such as IIoT, AR, VR, computer vision. How do these technologies help companies in the new normal?
That is my most favorite thing looking on our industrial shows. It's not like sometimes at the universities. I remember when I were a PhD student, we are allowed to find something that could be interesting. Looking on the technologies like IoT, virtual reality, augmented reality, these things are only successful in the industry if they give a value added for more competitiveness of the producer. And therefore, there are many, many things we are discussing in the last weeks. So much topics like not working in a central office, working, for example, at home, or working decentral. And if you see that you are able with these glasses, virtual or augmented reality, and you run a platform in the North Sea or in the Marmara or wherever, then you can use these technologies, and two persons far away from each other have the same glasses, and they are, yes, looking with these technologies in a factory. And that is a big, big value added, because you're able to maintain your industry with reduced costs, or you can do for sales. You have the new product, you see it in these glasses and have a great perspective what could be the new value added. But once again, it's all about competitiveness, what we see on our trade shows and what we do as the platforms, we would like to motivate the exhibitors to present year by year new innovations, but the decision is done by the investors, and the investors will only invest if they really have their value added. But you can say only 10 years ago, there were very classical capital goods, electronics, and IT. And now all three things are running together. You cannot run without skills in IT, a modern factory, and you cannot run a machine without knowing something about machines. So it's not only the programmer, it's not only the engineer, you have to bring these disciplines together. And that is therefore great having these platforms like a trade show that everyone can see this in this way. So these are the topics for the future, and I'm convinced that will be very, very important in the next decade till 2030.
And by looking around to all the exhibitors, I think we are already in the middle of the future. So future already started, and we need to continue.
Absolutely.
And finally, what's the role of automation and collaborative robots in the new normal? Already we touched a little bit the topic, but maybe you can go a little bit more into detail.
Robots, it's a fantastic story that it's really the colleague of the worker and not the competitor. And I started here in 2013. And only 5 years ago, in 2015, our main claim in the German news were, now we bring the robot from the fence next to the worker. That means 5 years ago, it was technically, or for insurance reasons, not allowed that the worker in the factory is close by to the robot because it was too dangerous. And now we have in the last 5 years a fantastic development that you can run in principle a smaller robot like a smartphone. And that will be the future, that you're really able to explain quite easy your colleague, the robot, please do this perhaps stupid work for the next 3 hours in this way. And you introduce him with some, you can see it here, with some easy advice to say, please, this you have to do. And that is the so-called cobot, and he will do this. And at the end, it's both. It's on the one hand, yes, it could be again cheaper to use these automations, but more and more there will be never a factory without any worker. That is since 40 years the same discussion. Ooh, if we have robots, we do not need workers. It will be more together. Some skills are better done by the worker, very individual, and other skills can be done by the colleague robot. So that is a development in the last 5 years, and I'm convinced that will be developed faster and faster in the next 5 years. And in the new normal, yes, if you have, for hygienic reasons, crucial situations, you can use a robot for this work, and that will be also possible to have solutions here on this way. But at the end, collaborative robots are much cheaper compared to the last years. They are available for smaller companies, and they use this, and yes, that will be the future in the cooperation.
Thank you very much. Is there anything you like to add from your point of view for the audience, for the conference, for the exhibitors?
Yes, I would like to say thank you. Thank you to many people. First of all, thank you to our customers in Turkey for our trade shows in Turkey, in Hannover, and all over the world. We really know that we are in tough times, and you could be sure that we really hated to postpone, to cancel trade shows. And I believe the only possibility in these perhaps crazy but tough times is to stay in a close contact. And thanks a lot for all your support you gave us. And I'm really, really convinced, and we are all highly motivated to run in Turkey and in Hannover and in China and on many other places, trade shows, and we hope on your trust in the future. Second, I would like to thank Alex, you and your team, that you are, yes, in a high speed organizing these connection days. And that is so important for us that that was every time the same in the history. It makes no sense to be only depressive at home, start crying and say nothing could be. We have you as our customers to mention, hey, Deutsche Messe, you are since decades our partner, bringing people together, connecting people. You have the brand, and that is something that motivates me, that the win is the orientation for innovation, for bringing people together. And there, a big thank to the whole team in Turkey running this approach. A big thank you for the customers joining these in our different activities over today. And thanks a lot to all that are supporting us, making these days, this very innovative premiere day, to a success. So I'm very proud to be part of this opening part, and very thankful to everyone who support us and help us in the staff and at our clients. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jochen, for joining us. It was a great pleasure. I as well wish everybody a successful day. Digital platform is the future, hybrid is the future. We will work on that. This is just the starting point. And now I just kindly ask Jochen, you officially to open our first event, the Industrial Digitalization Conference in our ConnectionDays. The stage is one more for you.
Thank you very much. It is my great pleasure. I declare the ConnectionDays 2020 open. All the success for you. Thanks a lot, and see you soon here on the digital way or somewhere in a great exhibition hall. Thank you very much.
Çok teşekkürler, iyi günler, kolay gelsin.